Well, things have gotten desperate for you. You have hit the bottom psychologically. This is flowing over onto your health. You haven't really looked after yourself. You've lived in the pleasure zones, trying to keep up with your habits and your behaviors that work against you, following the desires and the lusts of your flesh, and you have given way to too many people that have not been right for you. You have persevered with these people and their bad behavior to allow you to be able to keep up with your habits that are addictions and things that you know aren't right for you, but you've justified them through being a victim, and that's worked for you so far. But your health is starting to deplete, your relationship has diminished, you have started to suffer mentally, although you've always said that you had mental health issues which were a matter of unresolved. The sinful nature narcissistic partner has switched from covert to overt. Now you really understand that you've just been a former supply for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. This person's going to run away from you. You've become somebody that they've lost value in, and now you're faced with the fact that you've made wrong decisions financially, wrong decisions with your relationships, your intimate relationship. You didn't like the intimacy that you were receiving anyway, and what you were giving was half-hearted. You allowed decades to pass by. There was an element of excitement in it all, but you become trauma bonded and battled it out for years and years in misery, with some moments here and there, some glimpses of glory, I would suppose, in the relationship, which helped you to hang on that little bit longer. And now the psychological breakdown has come. You're faced with the fact that you are not in a place where you intended to be. You're being abandoned by your partner. You have nothing to show for yourself at all. You're enmeshed with your children, and they're so selfish and so miserable and so self-centered that their little bit of help is to ask you for more. They want more from you, as if they haven't been given enough, and you feel like you owe them for life. I've heard this many times. Oh, I feel like I owe my children, which is a form of justifying the mistakes and the carnage and wreckage that you've created. Really, that's all you're trying to do, is get some recompense for yourself with them for the bad decision making, and the way in which you've raised them has failed. You've failed yourself and you failed them. And this cycle has come to a massive crash. You're taking more of your addictive drugs, chemicals and things. The ashtrays are always full, and of course this doesn't help financially, and all these things robbed you of having assets and providing some sort of inheritance for your children. They'll end up with nothing. They'll have to sort themselves out. They'll have to find their own way in a world that's getting harder and harder and more expensive to live in. And now you're having to visit the doctor for more chemicals, for more medication to try and ease the agony going on in your mind, the disappointment, the guilt and shame, which is what you have brought on yourself by being too soft. You left your run too late to try and turn things around. You played the game, the narcissist game, the sinful nature game, and it's now turned around to bite you. You've realized that you've been lied to. Your opportunity to make a way in life has been wasted and squandered by the pleasures and the passions and desires and delusions and fantasies that you allowed to build and pursue. You pursued them, and really they were the road that led to nowhere. And now you've found yourself in severe crisis with a mental breakdown, a body that's tired and ruined, lungs that are poisoned from nicotine and other substances, dope, marijuana, and a mind that's given in to the abuse that it's been under. And it's all come to a head. Your adult children are demanding and pulling at you. You have nothing to give. The problem you have now is you may not even be able to go to work. You're going to find yourself behind. You're already in debt. You're already in a place that most people would dread financially. All the years of work and effort and things that you've done, you're confronted with the waste of it all, how you've wasted it and squandered it. And the narcissist just hops on to a younger, more vibrant, new partner, and you are left to be confronted by yourself. Sometimes the narcissist, the sinful natured partner, will return to parents, family members, sisters or brothers that will rescue them from the bad decision making that they've made. And you'll just watch in horror as they pull out of the driveway and leave you standing there like you didn't matter. And the fact of the matter is you didn't matter, you were just a form of supply. And this is how you come to realize that narcissism is real and harmful and dangerous, and it wastes life. Years of your life. Again, you turn to your adult children who are like little birds that are still in the nest that really haven't developed or grown. The little bit of wisdom that they've gained and the talent that they have never really manifested into anything either. And you're confronted with that because you taught them to be the way that they are and have the mindset that they have. And you try to blame the partner, or they're just being like so-and-so. They're just being like their mother. They're just being like their father. But that's not good enough. That's not reasonable enough to justify how bad things are. And so the light turns on. You break down, you're crying and weeping uncontrollably. You'd never planned any of this. You certainly never planned to be confronted with yourself at such a low point mentally and physically. And all of your bad decision making and the lusts and things and the addictions that you chose to pursue have come down on you with such a weight, with such a storm. You have a psychological collapse, a breakdown. And you realize that your life was built on a lie that was never going to lead anywhere or going anywhere or end up as anything. And you've been left behind, robbed by the powers of darkness that you allowed in your life and had every opportunity to rid yourself of years ago. You didn't do it. That's why you are where you are. And you need to turn to the light. That's the message here. That's what's happened to you, and that's why you are where you are. Get things in order, humble yourself, and never return to these types of people, or be the type of person that you are again.